Hey, welcome to my live stream again. I have to redo this one because whenever I got done, my phone died. And now in YouTube, the audio is seriously screwed up. And the audio for the scenery, whenever I'm explaining something in it, the audio is delayed. And it will show something from what was supposed to be early. Uh, if you want to leave a comment, go right ahead, or if you want to keep your comment until the end of the video, you're welcome to do that. I have no clue what was wrong with that audio. You know what? That live stream video is so screwed up, I'm just gonna have to delete it. And say this is my first successful live stream video. If it is successful, I'm gonna have to see if it is in the end. Now I'm gonna show you a quick tour of my playlists. Now the first one is the About Me videos. It's gonna show you exciting things that have happened in my life and disturbing things that I've been through. This is exactly what it is. You know, the iconic songs I have remixed. Having the guitar sing for the original artist voice. You'll see what I mean if you go into one of these videos. That's pretty much the best way I can explain it right now. I really got disappointed whenever my first live stream got really screwed up. My phone died right before I was gonna get out of it. This is Messages for the World. They're really good messages that I have to say. Things you need to know in scary situations. That video could save your life if you're in one of those scary situations and you've seen it. Now for music by me, that is exactly what it sounds like. It's music that I've done by myself. Remixes, again, those are original songs that were done by other people, but I remixed them. Yep. As for the pets, these are videos that are normally about Karma and Rascal, which are very beautiful pet cats. Karma being the tortoiseshell breed cat, and Rascal being a brown and white cat. They're both very nice. This friendly stray at my beck and call video, it's I go visit that cat pretty much every time I go walking. It's become very friendly. It's got an adorable meow. It's a gray tabby. these try to stay serious videos. They're the funniest videos I have on my channel. If you're having a bad day, just come to my channel and watch these. And it'll be sure to put a smile on your face. Now, last time I live streamed, but it was unsuccessful. I told you about the most embarrassing things that have happened in my life. The first one, oh gosh, what was it? Oh right, this was back whenever my mom's ex was around. If you've seen me do videos that involve him, they're the About Me videos. You'll find information about it under that. You'll know that he is very bad and just didn't give a care how I felt. Just didn't give a care, and I am a human being. He gave a care about himself, though. There was one day, no, one night, I should have said night. I was in bed, I woke up because I was thirsty, right? So I went into the kitchen to get something to drink. Got myself some water, because that is one of the cleanest things you can drink. I was seriously thirsty. And on top of that, I was on my... I'm just not gonna tell you what it is, but if you're female, you'll know that something happens inside your pants. Something that I really shouldn't be talking about. Yeah. It starts with a P and ends with a D. You know what? I'm just gonna drop that. Anyway, what happened was I went back to bed with my drink, right? And just before I went to bed, I forgot to put a PAD on. So there was B word all over my bed. That right there says that I was doomed. And on top of that, I accidentally spilled the water that I got from the kitchen. Lovely. I almost died that day. My mom's ex, I went on and confessed to him, hey, I screwed up. There's B word all over my bed, and I accidentally spilled a drink right off the bat. Just despite me being God honest, he started baiting the living out of me. I'm serious. He beat me up for almost that entire day. He even smeared my face into the that came from my and almost killed me of suffocation. Dude, I'm not a rag doll. I am a human being. The most embarrassing thing about it is, well, why that entire scenario happened. The mistakes I made. But just giving you a break from that, I'm gonna tell you about my extremely high score in... Just a second, let me turn this down because I don't want to interrupt my mom. See this? Wait, No, 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 no. This is, I almost got 5 million points on my best score. So that tells you right there that I'm pretty darn good at this game. I'll play it for you just after I explain my top 5 most embarrassing things that have happened in my life. So, on to my second worst thing that has happened in my life. No, not really worst, but most embarrassing thing. You do not want to know what the worst thing is. You know what the worst person I've ever met in my life. You know who that is. That's my mom's ex-boyfriend. But I'm not going to tell you the worst thing, the worst event that has happened in my life. That would be very, I'm just not going to tell you about that because it's too disturbing. So, the second worst thing. No. Why am I saying worst thing? Most embarrassing thing is the church incident. If you guys have been to VBS, Vacation Bible School, a few years back and witnessed this scenario, you would know what I mean by this church incident. You'd have to live in the Shady Grove area in order to witness it, because that's the area I live in. Of course, I'm not going to give you my address, because I don't want anyone to violate me. This is one of the most embarrassing things that's happened in my life. So, it was it VBS or was it just some sort of nice event? I don't remember what it was called. It wasn't called VBS. It was called something else. I don't remember what. I had fun there, yes. But what embarrassed me the most was the exercising part of it. Sometimes whenever I think about the things that my mom's ex-boyfriend has said to me, I don't want to exercise in front of anybody. Because the things that he said to me were about my shape and my size and, my things that are physical about me that could be really embarrassing. He called me fat. He said that my breasts flap a lot. And my breasts aren't even all that big. Especially whenever I wear sports bras. I mean, they're starting to get a little big, but it's not so big to where they flap. Jeez. We're talking about a church event, so I really shouldn't have just said the Lord's name in vain. I don't mean to do that whenever I do. Just catch me if I ever do. Just like these days, I don't mean to slip up and swear. I never mean to say bad things like that. My mom has been helping me with the habit too. And if you're in this video right now, thank you for visiting. Leave a comment if you like. Oh goodness. Where was I at? Oh, one day, I was in the exercising room, with a few people that I know from school. I've already apologized to those people who got to witness, the incident, I should call it. Really, I was not mad at anybody. I was just god awful. God is not awful. He is very good, but that's just how embarrassed I was because of the things that my mom's ex-boyfriend would say about me, about my body. Gosh. I mean, I wasn't fat at all. He should take a good look at himself before saying I'm fat, cause he is three or four times my size. I'm only, oh gosh, between 210 and 220, somewhere in between there. Seems like I remember weighing myself or going to the doctor. It was something like that. I'm not big at all. It may seem like I'm big because I'm very tall for my age, but if you look at my size, I'm not big at all. I'm a stick compared to him. Goodness. So, anyway, when I reached my breaking point and I broke down in front of everybody, some of the people who witnessed this may think I was totally angry at the time. Yes, I was angry, but not at anybody else. I was only angry at my mom's ex-boyfriend for saying the things that he said to me. Seriously, people, you would not have wanted to go to church at that time. And the pastor kicked me out of the church because he said that I was scaring everybody else. That hurt my feelings too, because I don't mean any harm. I wasn't angry at anybody up there. My feelings were very hurt. That's all it was. Gosh, I think I should stop talking about this incident because it still hurts me to this day. Anyway, on to the number 3. The number 3 is the go-kart incident in Dallas, Texas. This is where things get extremely scary because I almost died in this incident. Okay? Whenever me, my mom, and mom's freaking ex went to Dallas, Texas for a vacation. I mean, vacations are supposed to be delightful and fun, but it was just the opposite for me. Every time I screwed up, such as spilling a drink or saying something that I really shouldn't have said, or making a slight mistake, like I have to go serve his freaking highness. I was his slave back then. I gotta go get him something. If I make a mistake, say he says I get a cup of blah blah blah, but I misunderstood him and I get a cup of something else, just something slight, a slight little misunderstanding or a little mistake, he would yell at me saying, "Oh, I'm not listening to him." No, I was listening to him. I just made a little bit of a mistake. That's all. I wasn't trying to be offensive. He would always be on my case. Always, finding a way to get onto me for something so slight. It drove me crazy. Anyway, that vacation was horrible, especially in public. But the real public embarrassment was whenever he took me to a park to go drive go-karts. That is where things took a big, horrible turn. Okay, so I got into the go-kart. Nobody was willing to teach me how to drive the thing, first of all. So, not knowing how to drive it, I just hit whatever and felt around on the bottom, just looking for the brake. And startling me is whenever I actually did hit the brakes, etc., etc. But at the end of, and while I was driving, I was screaming and hollering, begging for somebody to help me. I don't know how to drive. Somebody from the side of the road, I think it was a monitor, told me to stop. I was trying to stop. I didn't know where the brakes were, because nobody told me. And whenever I was going to the end, I didn't know where the brake was, so I just slammed right into all the other cars and almost broke my neck. That's how I could have died, because the impact was so hard. For crying out loud. And all the blame was on me. Mom's ex-boyfriend was beating me up all the way to the hotel, beating me up at the hotel. Nobody noticed my misery, because he would say, "Oh, well, she's just crying over a toy." No. Do I look like a baby to you? No, I don't. I am not a little fucking baby. Excuse my language. But even talking about him pisses me off to no end. And just, I'm gonna drop it right there onto my number 4, is the schools of Shreveport. Yes, I used to live in Shreveport, and it was horrible. Their schools are so low rated. The highest rate is University Elementary School, and they were awful. I was, oh god, how old was I? I don't remember how old I was back then. I had fun at school until a boy, a popular boy, a spoiled brat, looked down my shirt, 'cause I just started wearing bras. I was growing faster than everybody else, and I started to get a breast. I was wearing a bra. So what if I was wearing a bra? And he was so fascinated in my bra. Please forgive me for announcing my nickname. Please do not call me this. This is actually something that I was called back then, because everybody thought it was cute. But I'm a teenager now, so please call me by my real name, which is Josephine. My nickname was Seffy back then, which is in the middle of Josephine. So him and his crew were like, "Oh, Seffy's got a bra, Seffy's got a bra," but just constantly chanting that. and I just wanted to raise my fist and punch that boy in the face, but I knew I would be in some deep trouble, because he was a very popular boy. So, and I was like bottom of the totem pole, even though I was as nice as I could be to people. I was still at the bottom of the totem pole. And whenever they actually did look down my shirt. So, you know what? I went to go tell the teacher about it, but she didn't give a crap. She was in her classroom going to get something. We were either going for recess or going for lunch. I don't remember which one it was. I think she was getting her lunch box, because it was lunchtime for the adults. Goodness. And it turned out to be an entire investigation. They didn't call the police. They did a self-investigation. Didn't find anything. There were a couple friends of mine that wanted to speak out about it, but they were afraid to because he was so popular. Oh Lord. So they tested, Mom claimed that I was autistic, which I am. If you think of an autistic person, you would think of somebody that sits in a wheelchair and makes all kind of weird noises, like disabled people, or they would just have a small range of speech. Mom says that she knew I had autism because my milestones were late, which is a symptom of mental autism or Asperger's. So, and I also have bipolar disorder. There's bipolar depression and bipolar manic. I don't know which one I have. I think it's depression, because people have anger problems. I used to be a royal bleep bleep. I used to be a royal B word. You wouldn't want to be around me back in those days. So, yeah, people have anger problems whenever they have depression or manic bipolar. It's a mental anger thing. Either becoming depressed after a scenario or having a mania streak. There's highs and lows. Some people, they don't have anger with bipolar. Sometimes they'll have mania or hit the ground depressed, like stay in bed all day or run around doing whatever whenever they're manic. Or there's an in-between state. I don't really know how to explain the in-between state. Mom says I have 2 other disabilities, ADHD and ODD. I don't really know anything about those. I know if you have autism as a baby, you'll have late milestones. And if you have high functioning autism, which is what I have, you'll become very smart and academic work will become easy to you. And that's how it is for me. Like, if I want to make the honor roll, that's what's gonna happen. If I have a crisis like I did in the 8th grade. Whenever I was in the 8th grade, I was a royal bleep bleep bleep. like I just said a few minutes ago. But it turns out I was stressed out because my mom's ex-boyfriend got out of jail. So it wasn't, I was only stressed out that people thought I was a royal bleep, bleep, bleep. But my mom's ex-boyfriend got out of jail and I was too stressed out. I couldn't keep it in. I was so upset. And that's gonna come in at my top 5 on my 5th. So, whenever they did the full-on investigation, they tested me for autism. And they rigged the test and said that I was a behavioral kid. People who have behavioral problems, people my age, they go to Alexander Learning Center in Shreveport. So, what Alexander Learning Center is, I'm just gonna tell you 2 words to explain it. Living hell. That is right. Living hell. The teachers there were jerks. There was this one guy, I don't remember his name, he was an adult. He looked into the stall while I was doing my business. I don't remember what job he had. He used to call himself my worst of nightmares, which told me right there he was a pervert. He used to call me a weakling. He called me all kind of shit. I still hate that man to this day. Maybe he's changed, because I've changed since then. My life was a crisis back then because of that school. But yeah, what was so embarrassing about that was I felt bad for them to a degree because we were taking up a lot of their time just for this one look down the shirt case. I mean, we could have just gotten over it, let it pass by. So what if he does it again? I did have a bad feeling about what he was doing. Goodness. On to my number 5 is STEM class. Yes, if you went to STEM class with me at Elm Grove Middle School, you would know, yeah, things were not good for me back then. So, what was actually wrong with me back then? I have the correct words to explain it these days. Back then, I just didn't know how to explain it. If you can forgive me, if you were in STEM class, I really hope you can forgive me for the things I said and did back then. You would have noticed that I got really upset with the STEM teacher. I was never upset at y'all. I was upset with him. Now, why was I so upset with him? Well, in the 8th grade, a little bit before 8th grade in the summer, my mom's ex-boyfriend got out of jail on probation. So the entire 8th grade year was a crisis for me because I was terrified of him coming back. And I let all my anger of him coming back out onto other people. Yeah, it was just, that year was a total disaster. So, it's no mistake, I'll let my anger out onto him. Now, I often got sick because of the stress. I would vomit, I would get I'm not even gonna announce it. Tum problems, severe headaches, things that people get whenever they're stressed out. There was one time I couldn't control my body. My neck was twisting back, and I couldn't. There was a day whenever I couldn't control my mouth, so I had to cover it up. Mom remembers that. And it turns out on that day, I had to go to a party before. On that weekend, it was a Monday that happened. I went to a party the weekend before that day. And I drunk my uncle's Coke. And it turned out it had alcohol in it. So yeah, I was drunk. And I still had a little bit of it. I brought some with me.